Welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be a deload week, and I'm going to take you along in what a deload week is and what type of exercises and workouts I'm going to do in this specific deload week. But let's start on Sunday. It's been quite a while since I've touched a squash racket, but together with my husband we went to the courts. He just helped me hit for a little bit before I went out and had a little bit of a session with someone else, which was really good. I had a great run. Monday morning, alarm always goes off at 6. I wake up, get dressed, get outside, and this morning I went for a medium run. I did a warm-up of 10 minutes in zone 1-2. That's basically like a quick-ish walk. A deload week is a week to avoid overtraining and to recover from a period of performance plateaus, decreased energy levels, and a combination of overworking, poor sleep, and nutrition. The deload week is designed to help you relax, unwind, catch up on sleep, avoid stress, and come back stronger the following week. I have been training for quite a long period of time, and I did feel quite a bit tired, so I did felt like I was being a bit in the overtraining zone, even though I've been really good with my nutrition, I've been really good with my sleep, just trying to relax and trying to stretch and recover, those type of things. Then I continued with 20 minutes in zone 2-3, mostly zone 3. It's like a light jog. So the recommendation for a deload week is every 8 to 10 weeks. Now I've been definitely training more than 10 weeks, and when it came to my tempo runs and intervals, I did feel like I was struggling to push more and push harder. That's why I decided to do this deload week. Another one of the reasons why I chose to do a deload week this week is because it is 8 weeks, well 7 weeks when you see this video, but 8 weeks from the moment I'm recording and editing everything until the big day, until the marathon. Also, the last 4 weeks have been quite a lot of extra runs. I did 15Ks on Wednesdays, 3 or 4 Wednesdays in a row. Then I did a 27K run, a 32K run, and a 20K run. Then I did 20 minutes in zone 4. That is a little bit more of a push. It is closer to race pace, to marathon pace, but it's still a bit lower. Let's say if marathon pace is just under 5 minutes, then zone 4 is 5 minutes 30 seconds, just around there. So if you are interested in seeing how do you do a long run, what do you eat and drink on these long runs, how do you recover, all these things is packed in the videos I made. So the 32K run, I will link it up, hopefully get some information from the runs and the nutrition. And I ended the workout with a 5-minute cool down. That's basically just another walk for 5 minutes in zone 1 and zone 2. Once I finished the walk, I got inside and I used the massage gun for my Achilles and for my calves to just make sure that they have a bit of a massage. And then I also did the side of my foot, which was a bit sensitive from the run the other day. And I found my husband inside. He was actually doing a workout himself. Papa's working out. Here he was just doing some core and he did some upper body as well, some pull-ups. It is just nice to wake up together and then work on ourselves. Alright, Monday afternoon, it is time for a full body gym workout. But first, of course, start with a warm-up. Because I'm starting with upper body, I grab a band and I just make sure that my shoulders are warm, the back is warm, just doing some simple exercises. Just make sure that you warm up your shoulders and your back, just your upper body, that whenever you do start your workout, your training, your muscles are already fired up a bit. So I just did a bit of rows and a bit of flies, put my band aside, and I started with some pull-ups. Maybe you know, but I was actually at the point that I was able to do weighted pull-ups, but unfortunately I got a little bit of an injury at the back of my shoulder blade, back, neck, shoulder was a bit sensitive, so I had to stop training upper body, and now I'm just starting it again because it's feeling good again. And now I just start from scratch, so pull-ups with the band. Then I moved on to cable kickbacks. I do a deload week, so I'm doing low weight, average reps. I think I did everything 3 times 10. Normally I pop on a bit more weight, but as I said, it is a deload week. And of course I did some calf raises. Never neglect your calves, especially if you are running, because they absorb a lot, so you really need to train your calves. I moved on to some stiff leg deadlift. I actually really enjoy this exercise. I haven't been doing it in a long time, but I'm definitely gonna incorporate it again into my workouts. I did it with 40 kgs, just slow movement all the way down. Just hinge your hips back. It's almost like you want to close a door, and then you slowly go up. Moving on to a row, standing row, and really making sure to squeeze those shoulder blades. Try to not move as much and drive your elbows backwards. Then we're going to the seated row. Same here, try to not move your upper body as much. Just try to bring the handle all the way to your chest, just a bit lower than your chest if you can. You drive your elbows to the back, you squeeze everything, and try to keep your upper body as still as possible so that you really target the back. Then I moved on with just some body weight lunges. I have been doing step ups with the cable, but like I said, it's a deload week, so we're just doing body weight. And honestly, body weight lunges are quite taxing on the body. Don't get me wrong, if you do 20, 30, 50, it's tough. Here I did some hanging leg raises just for the full core. It's a very tough one, but I actually really enjoy to do core. All right, last exercise, and for this exercise I grabbed a booty band because I really enjoy using booty bands in my training. Just some squats, just pop the booty band just above your knees, go in a deep squat, get some nice tension on it so that you really feel those glutes activate, squeeze. It's a nice feeling. I enjoy the feeling, and it doesn't have to be with heavy weights. Body weight is more than enough. I think I did like 20, 3 times 20 or something like that. That was my first strength training session this week in a deload week. After the training session, the full body, I went outside to go for a 6K walk, just over an hour walk, slow-ish walk. I use this time to quickly check in with my clients. I check in with my clients multiple times per day, not only in the morning, but whenever they have a question, I try to respond as quickly as possible. And then also during the day, and then in the evening, I have another quick check-in. So like I said, I just did an hour walk, easy walk to end the day, and it actually felt really nice. Hello. Moving on to Tuesday morning. Again, my alarm went at 6 o'clock. Put on my shoes, popped on my headphones, and I actually listened to a very interesting podcast. Yeah, so this morning I listened to a podcast from Rich Roll. The name was Be Useful, and it was a podcast with Rich Roll and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Actually a very interesting podcast. I would highly recommend listening to it. It was nice, the sun was out, it was beautiful weather, and yeah, because I walk, I can just hold my phone and not worry much about, safety and all these things. So I actually really enjoy listening to podcasts. I think I finished almost the whole podcast. I usually scroll to the parts that I enjoy most. Tuesday afternoon, I started to warm up my chest. I just used the barbell for some chest presses just to warm it up, and then eventually I popped on a little bit of weight on the bar, not too much. It's still a deload week and I haven't done much really with weights on my chest, so I didn't want to really overtrain my chest because that's very uncomfortable. Moving on to cable tricep extensions. I really enjoy tricep extensions. With the cable you can really squeeze. And then we're doing cable lateral raises, very low weight, but honestly that is very tough. So Be careful when you do lateral raises, don't go too heavy because it is really tough. Here I popped on a booty band, got the band ready, just put the band just above my knees and I did some hip thrust, even here without weights. Why? Because we are still in a deload week. I usually train hip thrust with 50 to 60 kgs. I just want to stimulate my muscles, so that's why I decided to do it with just body weight. Okay, here we're starting the regular deadlifts, normal deadlifts. Here it's very important that you try to move the bar in one line and then keep your back straight. Just touch the bar on the floor and go up again. It's a really good full body exercise. So if you're not having that in your program, I would highly recommend adding that to your program. Here I did some military press or overhead presses, not too much weight. I did everything here also 3 times 10, just slow movements, try to stimulate the muscles, target them but not overtrain them. Then I did some calf raises. Again, I do calf raises almost every single day because it's just really necessary, people. If you run, you really need to train your calves, so just do not neglect your calves. Next up, we are going for overhead marches. So here I was grabbing 2 kettlebells, each in one hand, and then you try to keep your core tight and still, and then you pop your legs up like you are walking in your place. Honestly, quite a good exercise to target the core. Then I drop 1 kettlebell. This is the kettlebell standing oblique crunch. So it's a very good exercise to target those obliques. I would highly recommend doing this when you are running, that you have a strong core. It's very important. After this exercise, I went out again for a little walk. I just listened and watched some YouTube videos, and also I checked in with my clients again. Very easy because I'm walking, and it's a great way to end the day. Moving on to Wednesday morning, normally I go and do a run with the Active Morning Madness group, but because I'm in a deload week and I need to take it slow, I actually decided to just go for a walk again. During this walk, I watched a video from Average Rob, and I just find him very amusing, him and his brother, so it's just something fun to watch and it just keeps me entertained. Unfortunately, it did rain a little, but luckily that went away very quickly, so I was really lucky, to be honest. Thursday morning, again waking up at 6, getting all my things ready, getting my shoes, popping on my shoes. Of course, we are doing a little warm up. I actually went for a little run this morning. I did a medium run. I started with, of course, a good warm-up. I always do the same type of warm-up, so I don't show you everything because that might get boring. Then afterwards, I pop in my headphones. I choose a nice podcast or YouTube video to listen to, and then I head outside. It was a bit gloomy, not very great weather, but it wasn't cold at all. So I started this run with a 10-minute walk, zone 1-2. And zone 1-2 is basically like a quick-ish walk. And after those 10 minutes of doing a quick walk, I went into a little jog. I did zone 3. Zone 3 is basically a nose breathing session for me. So I really try to focus on breathing through my nose. So breathing in and then breathing out through my nose, just to train that because it can keep your heart rate a bit lower. In tough runs, I try to breathe in through my nose and breathe out through my mouth, but in general, it's good practice. And I ran for, I think the warm-up was like 1K, and then I did 10 or 11K run. And then there are these animals, I'm not too sure what their names are, but they always make so much noise. But yeah, it is what it is. I went for a little walk, and this little dog, this little cutie came to me, so I just played with it for a little bit. I really love a dog. That was a great end to my Thursday afternoon. Friday morning, it is time for a workout couples edition. My husband joined me, or we joined each other on this workout, and together we started with a little band warm-up because we wanted to get started with pull-ups. So again, very important to do warm-up. Just make sure that you warm up your muscles. You don't have to have like a proper routine for every time you want to start working out, but just make sure you have some sort of routine, some sort of workout. So here again, I'm using a band. I'm just doing my pull-ups slow, trying to go all the way to the top, trying to put my chest to the bar and my chin over the bar, but just doing it very, very controlled. Now it was time for my husband to do the same, and it just looks so easy on him, but it's just frustrating. But yeah, okay, moving on, we did a few supersets or trisets. Here we started with the cable kickback again. I do this quite a lot, this exercise, because it's really important to train your glutes, and I just find this a great exercise to train them. I really feel it. And then while my husband was doing the cable kickbacks, I moved on to the military press, overhead press, low weight again, because we are still in a deload week, bit of time for some cheek bites. This is actually very normal, so yeah. Okay, we moved on to again some body weight lunges. We just did like 20, 30, 40, I'm not too sure, but we just went until you felt your muscles. So even if you want to train your legs but you struggle because you don't have a gym or whatever, you can do body weight stuff, but just make sure you push yourself. Here we moved on to some cable bicep curls. He's starting to look lean. I think this was the tricep, yes. So we did lunges, and then we moved on to cable bicep curls, and then cable tricep extensions as a tricep, and then it was my turn. I lightweight, as I said, but just to stimulate the muscles, nothing extra, but it's just very important to train your full body if you run, so don't neglect any body part. Just really do everything. It's just really good to have a strong physique. And at the end, we moved on with some dancing. I'm joking, but we had some music on, so that was quite inspiring. I started with a bench, just with the bar, just to warm up my chest, and then it was my husband's turn. He's much stronger, so he's gonna put on quite some weight here, but that's okay. I was able to spot him because he was gonna try quite a big set. He said he was gonna go for only 4, but it was very easy, and he was able to pump out quite a lot. And even at the end, I almost didn't even help him. I just touched the bar. I think he was able to pump out another 2 or 3. But yeah, I can imagine it's a bit scary, you know, because I'm not that strong. So if something might happen, like I'm not that strong that I can just take the whole bar. Okay, this was his maximum set, so 20 kgs on both sides, 10 and then 2.5. And here he said, oh, maybe I'm gonna aim for 3 or 4, and he was able to pump out a lot. And I was very surprised because it is quite tough, and I know that you need to have quite some confidence in yourself to lift those type of weights. But no, it was good to see, to help him push himself, you know, to create that chest that the man wants, proper chest. And at the end, he did his own sort of core routine with some push-ups, and I continued with some calf raises, both sides, and I did some hanging leg raises again. I don't know, I just enjoy it because I really feel that it really stimulates my whole core from the top to the bottom. And while you run, when you run, it's just very important to have a strong core. So just start incorporating core exercises that you enjoy, that you feel like you can continue to do. And we ended the session with some stretching and chatting. It's just so important to end your sessions with a low heart rate. So if you've been pushing, and even if you've not been like properly pushing, because this was a deload week, it wasn't a very heavy workout for me at all, but it's still good to relax a little bit before you go and take a shower, for example. So we just did some stretching of our lower body, some stretching of our upper body. And it's also a little quality time, you know. It's nice to do a workout together and then to stretch for a bit and to chat. It's important to have couples time, if you get what I'm saying. Okay, Friday afternoon, it is time for a cycle session. And Normally I would go outside, to do a zone 2 session, a long-ish run, for example. But the weather has been quite horrible. It has been raining quite a lot, and I just didn't feel like going outside in the rain, to be honest. Like, sometimes you just have to make decisions, and this time I just felt that it might be better to stay inside and do a long cycle session, because I haven't gotten the chance to do it this week anyway. And I did it in zone 2 and a little bit in zone 3. And I'm just gonna walk you through why it is important to train in zone 2. Zone 2 training improves the body's aerobic energy system, enhancing your ability to fight fatigue. When you exercise at a high intensity, your body's demand for energy surpasses what the aerobic system can provide. So if you can train more in zone 2 and zone 3, so like zone 1, 2 is like low zone, zone 3, 4 is like medium, and then zone 4, 5 is like the higher end. And if you can do that, it makes, your easy days need to be easy and your hard days need to be hard. And making sure that you are able to train in zone 2 for longer periods of time, then it also means that you can push harder. And it is hard, zone 2, because it takes long. This bike session was a 2-hour bike session, and that's not even like extremely long. I've known people that do like 3 or 4 or sometimes even 5-hour cycle sessions. I'm not that far yet, but I actually do enjoy it because this is my little me time. I usually watch a bit of Netflix or some YouTube videos, whatever I enjoy, and I just have a great sweat, because let me tell you, the sweat you get from cycling is a different type of sweat. So if you ever feel like, okay, maybe this is something I should try, give it a shot. I would highly recommend it. But this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I finished off 2-hour cycle session, and this was a full week of training in a deload week. If you do have any questions, feel free to leave a message or feel free to leave a comment. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for a weekend vlog, a weekend in our life, where I'm gonna take you along on what we normally do on a weekend. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.